Ali. Hello and welcome back. Today I'm in my kitchen. I've been out this morning. I've had a couple of days off, so I've been out this morning. I've come back. It's getting on for 2 o'clock and I haven't had lunch yet and I'm hungry. So I want to whip up some lunch, and I thought I would share with you some of the tips that I have for us to be able to have a healthy lunch if we're really busy. So I like cooking, but most of the time I don't have time to spend too much time by the cooker preparing any lunch. So I have over the years devised a way of assembling different lunches that I can either have at home or I can take with me if I'm going out. And I've also shared these with clients because I found that they often resort to going to buy a sandwich because it's quick and easy, or they make a sandwich because it's quick and easy. But there is an issue with having the same thing every day. We can become bored with that, and we can also become resistant to some foods if we keep having the same thing every day. But with bread, being a carbohydrate, and quite a high sugar carbohydrate, particularly if it's white flour, it can raise our blood sugar rather quickly, and we can feel really energized as soon as we eat the sandwich. But with the insulin coming out to remove that sugar from the bloodstream, we can get quite a crash and we can get quite a slump in the afternoon and have that sort of 2:30 slump that you can get after lunch, where you feel really tired and you really hope nobody calls a meeting at that time because you're likely to nod off. And I've been there, I've done that. I have literally nodded off after a high carb lunch many years ago before I did my studies, and I've learnt so much since. So I don't eat bread now. So what I'm going to share with you are some options that I go to on a regular basis, whether I'm at home or out and about. So today I'm going to have some leftovers, but I'm going to make up a salad. Now, what I tend to do normally is make up a salad at the beginning of the week. So I'll wash the lettuce and any leaves I might want to add to it, dry them off in a tea towel, clean tea towel, or in a salad spinner. Then I put them in a dish in the fridge, and they'll last 3 to 4 days. And I can quite easily get that dish out, grab a handful of salad leaves, pop it in whatever container I'm taking with me, and then I add to it. Now, I tend to chop things like tomatoes and cucumber fresh, but I have actually done salsas before with a little oil and vinegar where it may be ready made up, and I can just add that to the salad. The other thing I like to do at the beginning of the week is make up a dressing, and I make up a very basic oil and vinegar dressing. So I use 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil to 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, for instance. Sometimes up the quantities if I want it to last longer during the week. But instead of apple cider vinegar, I might use lemon juice. So I tend to put those in a small jam jar and I shake it. I add salt and pepper, maybe a clove of garlic that's crushed, and that's it. But to that, I can add a teaspoon of mustard. Just add it, shake it, and I've got a mustard dressing. I might add a bit of soy sauce and a bit of freshly squeezed orange juice. If I've got some pesto in the fridge, I might add a teaspoon of pesto, give that a shake, and that makes a very nice dressing. It's like just a herb dressing suddenly. You can add herbs to it, freshly chopped herbs or even dried herbs. Another thing, hummus. Sometimes if I get to the bottom of a either homemade or a pot I've bought of hummus, there might not be enough really to have with vegetables or whatever. I might just scrape that out, put it in the dressing, and then put that over the salad. So it doesn't go to waste either, but it adds flavour to the salad. A little bit of tahini in there. There's so many things you can do by just adding different flavours, like chilli even, to the dressing. So think about your favourite foods, I suppose, and see what's in the fridge. You can add it to your dressing. So there I've got the salad in the fridge, I've got a dressing in the fridge. Then I want to add a protein. And there's several different proteins I might use. Again, at the beginning of the week, I might boil 2 or 3 eggs, and they stay in the fridge quite happily until you're ready to take them with you. And sometimes I don't peel them until I've arrived wherever I am and want to eat my lunch. That can be a little bit unsociable, mind you. The smell of sulphur from these eggs can be rather off-putting, and everybody's looking about and wonder who's... So you could peel it before you go, or if you know you're going to eat privately, it's not a problem. But boiled eggs, they're very useful. I might take some goat's cheese with me, I might take some smoked salmon, it could be a piece of poached salmon I might not have had that night before, so I tend to cook poached salmon perhaps when I'm doing a dish the night before, so I've got some for the next day. It might be leftover chicken from a roast, things like that. But also in the cupboard I keep little tins of sardines or mackerel, and I choose them in spring water or brine. I avoid the oils, particularly sunflower oil, any seed oil, try and avoid that. Work your way towards avoiding seed oils. They're not particularly good for us. And you can take the tin with you. They've got those little easy openers, so that's very easy. So you can even keep some of these things in your desk at work if you have a workplace where you can do that. And then once you've got your protein, and it might be that your protein might be some beans or lentils, then we come on to carbohydrate. And I tend not to have a great deal of carbohydrate in the summer. I add things like carrots and fennel and courgette and beetroot and red cabbage and any sort of cabbage to my salad, so I get a lot of vegetables and carb through that. So I don't always have a separate carbohydrate like lentils or beans, and I don't have bread. I tend to buy packets of ready cooked. Now I've got 2 here. I've got beluga lentils. This is Merchant Gourmet, I particularly like, and I go for the very simple. This is cooked beluga lentils. It's water and lentils, there's a bit of onion, olive oil and ground bay leaf. So there's very little in there, and that's what I look for. I don't want something highly processed. I don't want something with sauce. I've seen some coconut ones. They're not what I'm looking for. I don't know exactly what's in those. I look for the more simple produced easy win. So if I can cook my own, that's great, but if I don't have time, that's good. And they do a lovely pre-lentil with brown lentils as well, and they're the ones I look for. And I've just picked up, and I'm sure I've had this before but not for a long time because I don't eat huge amounts of rice, but brown, red and wild rice. So again, it's quite simple. Just this does have some vegetable oil in here, which could be sunflower or rapeseed oil. Not ideal, but as a one-off, I will go with it. Again, if I can cook my own, I will do, but wild rice is a seed really, rather than a rice, so that tends to be perhaps preferable. Depends which direction you're coming from. So I might add those to my dish. In the summer, I might have some new boiled potatoes, and I might just put those in cold. They're quite nice. And then I've picked this up today. It's kimchi by Vadaz. I've not tried this before. It has been recommended to me. I have tried other kimchis and sauerkrauts, and I have made my own. But I thought I'd try this and see what it's like. This is a simple, straightforward kimchi, nothing special, but they did have other varieties in Sainsbury's, which is where I got this. I believe it's available in Tesco and probably other supermarkets as well. So a kimchi, that's sort of the raw sort of food, can also support us quite nicely. So to get together, I've assembled quite an array of different dishes that I can go to throughout the week. You may recall I mentioned in my breakfast preparation that I make a frittata, and I quite often, if I make, could be muffin size, or it could be just a slice, that is really nice for lunch as well. So not just for breakfast, it's great for lunch, and it doesn't have to be hot, but I add a lot of vegetables into that, and I can add more protein in if I want alongside the egg. But that's also incredibly easy once you've cooked it in the fridge, and then you could have that. The one I make lasts me 3 days. I get 3 different servings, so it could be breakfast and 2 lunches, or 2 breakfasts, 1 lunch. And I try not to repeat things too much in one day, so I don't really want egg for breakfast and for lunch, so I try and swap it up. The other thing I do is, for those of you who watch that breakfast video, I roast up these vegetables when I'm cooking something else. When the oven's on, I like to maximise the energy, whether it's the range or whether it's the electric cooker here. And what I sometimes do is I'll just throw in some carrots and onions, put in some garam masala, or maybe put some squash in a tray with some onions and some hot paprika. And then once they're cooked, I'll throw them in my high-speed blender. I've got a Vitamix, so it's really high speed, with some stock, freshly made if I've got it, or I use a bouillon powder by Marigold. I use the vegan low salt, so it's gluten-free as well. And that's really good. I just whiz that up, and then I can just heat it up, add any more seasoning, add maybe some beans if I need anything extra in there, herbs, fresh herbs. I might sprinkle on some grated manchego cheese or something, and I've got a soup, so that can also be heated up, put in a flask to take with you. But if you've got facility to heat something up at work or wherever you're going, I find soups are a good way to go about it as well. So it could just be a mixed veg soup. It's whatever I have. And quite often I will just blend everything up raw. Preferably I like to cook the onion and garlic if I'm putting those in first, but I can put them into the blender raw with a stock and then warm that through, and it's more like a raw soup if you don't get too hot. But that's another easy win that I go to, and again, a soup can last several days, so I don't make it complicated. I keep it simple. And also, I just want to point out, I did a salad this week. It was really lovely. It was on the Riverford card that came with the vegetables, and it was a fennel salad with goat's cheese and walnuts. And in their recipe, it suggested that you cut the fennel into wedges and griddle it to make it sort of smoky. But you don't have to, but it suggested that would add to the flavour with the smokiness. It recommended you used toasted walnuts, and I didn't want to get another pan out. I didn't want to toast them, so I had them raw. So I had the fennel raw and the walnuts raw as they are in a salad, and it was just lamb's lettuce because that was all I had. I added a few extra bits. I think I may have added some carrot, a little bit of onion. I think it was added onion. But anyway, and I made a dressing, as they suggested, with mustard and a little bit of honey. And then I had goat's cheese with it, and it was absolutely delicious. So I took a recipe that suggested I char grilled this and toasted that and didn't bother, and I still had a wonderful lunch. So, you know, I tend to take recipes I'm not precious about them. If I haven't got something, it doesn't necessarily put me off. I'll find something that I could replace it with, or I might just leave it out, as long as it's not desperately important. I mean, I wouldn't do a fennel salad without the fennel. Yeah, it's getting ahead. A few things prepped ahead makes life so easy. And if you've got your basis, you've got a few things like the lentils in the cupboard, or tins of beans, it might be cannellini, butter beans, black-eyed beans, or haricot, whatever it might be, and you might want to sprinkle on a mixed seed, sprinkle on some nuts as well. You can add, I added apple actually to my fennel salad, that was part of it, fresh apple slice on there. That wouldn't last very well, that would go brown unless you can squeeze lemon over it, but you could take that and slice half the apple onto your salad and eat the rest. So these are just a few ideas. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make up a salad. It's time's going on, and I've got leftovers from yesterday, which was a rice dish. So I'm going to warm that through, and I'm going to add the kimchi. So today I wouldn't take this with me because I wouldn't have facility to heat up rice, but if I've got leftovers, I often use leftovers as well. Just try and simplify things as much as I can. So I'm getting a nice balance. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to tie my hair up, get the salad sorted, put it in a dish in the fridge, and then I'll show you over the next few days some of the lunches that I throw together. I assemble as opposed to cook. So I'm going to get going. So I'm simply just slicing up a few bits. I'm just going to do enough at the moment for today. Have a bit more pepper. It's a lovely little pointed red pepper, which again is gorgeous. So that could be ready chopped. Let's take the end of the cucumber. And that's all I need for this. And I've got my lettuce and rocket just there, soaking. I'm going to drain this and dry it off. So I don't currently have a salad spinner. I got rid of mine. It was looking really manky, so I'm just using a tea towel at present. But you can, if you put your salad in a dish to go in the fridge, you can put a piece of paper towel in the bottom just to take up any extra moisture. There. So just grab a few. Actually, I don't think I want all that. I'll have all the tomato and have all the pepper. There we go. I'm going to put that in there. Right, and now I'm going to get my rice dish out and heat that up. So in my rice dish, I have carrot, courgette, red pepper, onion, a little bit of beef. So that was a very off the cuff, I haven't got much in, kind of throw it together meal. I'm just going to add some water so it doesn't stick and put it on low. And whilst that's going, I will get some oil and vinegar and make a quick dressing. I find measuring spoons make this particularly easy. So the spoon is a tablespoon. So I'm not going to make too much. I'll just do 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And then 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Don't know if I've got these on the right one. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll check. And then I'll just add a bit of salt and pepper. So. And that's all I'm going to do today. Normally I might add some garlic or some mustard, but today with this dish I don't want any other flavours. So and then just give it a shake. So I tend to keep little jars. This probably had nut butter in it, this one, or it may have been a River Cottage yogurt I picked up en route. So there you go. It's a nice little dressing. So then I can just drizzle that over my salad. And I can hear that coming on. I'll just move a couple of things away. I'm a noisy cook, you probably can tell. Let's see if I can open this. Oh yeah, that was easy. Nice, smells good. Right. Okay, now all I'm doing is just waiting on the rice, which is actually coming on quite quickly actually. I'll just turn that down a bit. And I will just put these other bits away. Look. Did you get that? Did you see that? Get down, what are you doing? That was Luna. Luna will steal anything. Lulu. Oh, shameful behaviour, dear. On camera. Anyway, right, so I'll just put the rest of this salad in the dish. This is an old tea towel, but it is clean. It is fresh out the drawer. There, and then that can go in the fridge and that's ready for tomorrow. And if I had half a tomato left that I didn't use, because that was half from yesterday, I'll pop it in here as well, so it's just ready to go. There we go. These bits will go in my compost heap. And I think we are ready. So I'll turn off the heat. You can't see this, but I will just pour this out here. And then I'm going to try a dollop of kimchi. A bit more. Now, I find fermented foods, if I ever do a sort of smoked mackerel kedgeree, then a dollop of sauerkraut on top really is lovely. I think when you've got oily fish, the vinegars, or there aren't vinegars in this, sorry, the sort of ferments that come out of fermented vegetables really complement an oily fish. So yes, I'm going to sit down, eat my lunch, and then I'll give you the verdict on the kimchi. So that was pretty quick. I don't know how many minutes that took me. How long's the camera been on? No idea. But that was pretty quick, and I'm going to go and eat it. So that took about 9 minutes to put together, but had I put the rice on first, it would have been done in about 6 minutes. And if I'd got everything up first in one go, that probably would have been quicker still. Anyway, I wanted to give you my verdict on the kimchi, and I thought it was very nice. It's very palatable, not too strong at all. So yes, I would recommend that. Yeah, I'm just checking the sell by date, the use by date. But yes, I'd recommend that. I must just say, again, nothing that I've mentioned, none of the brands I've mentioned I'm not sponsored, I'm not an advocate, affiliate or anything. It's just my personal preference and my personal use. So yes, let's see what I make tomorrow for lunch. I haven't even thought about it yet, but I will keep you updated on a few lunches over the next couple of days and just show you how I assemble a lunch quite quickly and easily. So see you tomorrow. So this is the next day and I'm going to put together another lunch. So this is just an assembly really. I'm going to cut a few veg, but first of all, the salad I put away yesterday, I'm going to put that on the plate and I'm going to have all of it. A little bit of cucumber. We'll just slice up a couple more slices. And I'll have half a tomato. I'm not really keen on tomato, if I'm honest. Particularly not cold from the fridge. When they're warm off the vine from the garden, I do like them then. Right, so let's just chop these in half as well. Okay, and a little bit of onion, I'm just going to do a couple of slices, very thin slices, that will be enough. Just split them up. Now I'm going to take my lentils and just cut that open. And I'm going to sprinkle them on top of my salad because I'm going to put the dressing over the top. So you could put this in a dish that you might want to take with you. Alright, now just sprinkle over my onion. Bit of dressing, just giving it a shake. So you might recall, this is just straightforward oil and vinegar with a bit of seasoning. It would be really nice with a bit of garlic in. And I'm just going to have some rounds of pepper. You can put anything you like in, and you could actually pre-chop a lot of this anyway and have it in another dish ready to go on. I want to put in, because I have this in the fridge, it's sun-dried tomato. So I'm just going to, gosh, this is very soft, this one, and just spread that over. Adds quite a lot of flavour, which is all to the good. And we'll wash my hands a moment because it's oily. And then I left the packaging on top so I wouldn't forget how long it will last, the cheese. Go with a clean knife here. So I've had about a third of a small round cheese. As much as you like, might go for a bit more, or as little. Put that back in its jar. And finally, I just want to sprinkle on some seeds. It's just a few mixed seeds. Again, flavour and some of the healthy benefits of seeds. Seed oils are not good for you, but seeds in moderation can be beneficial. So there we go, that is lunch number 2, and how long that took? It was minutes. So I'm going to now go and sit down and enjoy this, but you could put that straight into a container to take with you to wherever you're going, whether it's to work or you're going out for the day. So I'll see you again tomorrow. So for today's lunch, I'm using the same base of green leaves and lentils, but today I'm going to change it up with some hummus and some olives and avocado. I've got a little bit of manchego cheese out as well, because I'll probably have a slice of that. But what I'm going to do is start with the dressing, and I'm going to add a very, very small clove of garlic. Now, had I done this at the beginning of a week and made the dressing sort of a whole batch of dressing, I'd use a bigger clove, but as there's not much left, I don't want it to be too overpowering. Now, there we go. So I am just going to use the biggest knife on earth to finally chop it. You can use a press, of course, a garlic press. There we go. So all I'm going to do is pop that in and secure the lid and give it a shake. Okay, next, lentils. Alright, so with my lentils today, there's a couple of things you can do. I fancy, because I have the time, just cubing some of the veggies to go in there, adding the dressing, and then just having the leaves undressed on the plate alongside it. But you could, if you don't have time, just chop a chunk of each of pepper, cucumber, carrot, whatever you have, and pop it dunk into your hummus. But I'm going to just do a bit of chopping. I think I'll I'm not being precious about it, I'm not being precise. I'm not a chef. Right, and that's just going to go straight in with my lentils. I'll chop the end of the pepper. And again, another slice of pepper. You can have as much or as little as you like. I mean, it really doesn't matter. This is just really to give you just an idea of how simple you can make your lunch, but still have lots of flavour, still have lots of nutritious food in it, and not having to resort to some shop-bought sandwich or pie or whatever it might be. I'm going to put in a bit of onion. I'm going to just chop the end off that. Now, of course, onion, you do have to be a bit careful with onion because it can grow bacteria quite easily, but if you're using it within a couple of days, I've never had a problem. I don't know what the official stance is on that, but I've always found that's sufficient. And then my tomato, I'll just see if I can get that raw edge off. All right. And I'm going to take the seeds out. I'm not particularly, as I said the other day, not particularly fond of tomato. And it is actually more beneficial cooked, and I do like it cooked. So I've got quite a few tomatoes. I might just make a tomato sauce out of them. Right, there we go. And I'm going to stir those through. And I'm going to add a good amount of the dressing. So that's ready. Now, put my plate there. You can see that. I'm going to put a handful of leaves, a good scoop of this salad. I can always come back for more if I want it. Obviously, if you're taking it with you, make sure you've got plenty. I am going to have a little bit of carrot. So I'll quickly peel this. You can, of course, prep some of the vegetables ahead of time again. What's quite nice is if I have some hummus to take with me somewhere, I'll quite often just chop up some carrot and other vegetables. I'll put it in another jar, slightly wider jar, and then I just stick the sticks of carrot in the hummus. So it's all ready to go, so it's already dipped. So I'll put those. Oop. Little batons, baton. Okay, I've got quite a feast appearing here. Avocado. Now, there, I've got a beautiful half. I'm going to use the same spoon and I'll just ease it around the outside of the avocado. Missed a bit. I'll just flop that on the top. And then you can do this any way you like. I like to, you could actually just scoop it straight out if you wanted. And then I will get a fresh spoon. I'll put a lovely dollop of hummus on there. And then finally, I think I will forego the cheese. I don't think I need it. Finally, I will get some olives. And again, I mean, I'm just going to put them on whole. You could slice them, but you might as well slice them as you're eating, if you know what I mean. There's no point adding extra work ahead of time. There, I think that will be, no, one more. Okay. So again, that was quick. Now, it could be quicker, of course. I could have some things prepared, but again, nice, simple lunch. You can add a bit of salt and pepper if you want, but it's ready to go. Hello, so today I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to make a soup. So I'll run through that with you. But last night I roasted off some parsnips with onion with a little garam masala, and I'm going to add a little bit more curry powder today and make it into a curried parsnip and apple soup. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. So firstly, I'm going to put some bouillon powder in my mixer, in my Vitamix. It's a new one. Let's get the lid off. I'll add some water. This is just cold water. A teaspoon of the bouillon powder. I like to use Marigold. It's vegan and gluten-free, this one, organic, and it's also reduced salt. Now, I'm not affiliated to anybody, this is just my personal preference. So that's in. And then here's my veggies. Now, I have to be honest, I forgot to put them away last night, and so perhaps they're a little drier than they should be. And I think the soup might be quite brown because of the garam masala, but I'm going to add this in. And then I've got an apple, it's just raw. I'm just going to core that. And I'm going to leave the skin on. Okay. I think I'll just do half an apple, and let's give this a whiz. So this is going to be very noisy. Okay, that's going to need more water. It's just like a brown mush. So I'm just going to add some more water using the kettle. Give it another whiz. This might still be a bit thick. Yes, definitely too thick. That's better. Now, I'm going to be brave and try this. I think that's nice. I don't think it needs any more curry powder. I think the garam masala's nice. I think that's just right. So now I'm going to put it on the hob and heat it through. There we go, just pouring it straight in the pan. And putting it onto medium heat. So that will warm through, and whilst that's just warming through, I will get a bowl, my spoon. So now the soup is hot enough. Just give it one more stir. And you could sprinkle on some grated cheese if you wanted. And I would actually suggest, if you're having a soup like this, that you have something alongside it, maybe a smaller salad with a piece of salmon, so you can get a bit of protein and healthy fats as well. But this is very warming, easy to take in a flask. There. And there's my soup. I'm going to sit down and enjoy this, and I hope you've enjoyed these few lunches I've thrown together, and I hope it's inspired you to be able to take some of your own lunches to work that are well balanced and healthy and tasty. Actually, I find them all very tasty. So I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.